This is Mindfulness with Richard Clarke. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Welcome. Today we continue the series on sati, which is the original Pali word that mindfulness comes from. And I like sati because it includes the deeper connotations such as remembrance, presence, and ethical care. And this session is on one of those elements on mindfulness and ethical discernment, which is really living with clarity and care. And ethics, the Pali word is sila, is not a rule book. Rather, it's the fruit of clear seeing. So let's explore how moment to moment awareness helps us know what is skillful and choose it. When you practice mindfulness, you create a gentle, open space. In that space, the mind begins to show its patterns, thoughts, impulses, and reactions without pressure or judgment. Ethical discernment, or sila, grows naturally from this awareness. So it's not a list of rules you must memorize or obey. Rather, it is the fruit of seeing clearly what leads to care, kindness, and harmony, and what causes harm. Every moment offers a choice. When you notice irritation rising as someone speaks sharply, or a desire to act from self-interest, mindfulness allows you to pause. And in that pause, clarity can appear. You see the impulse as it is, not colored by habit or projection. And you see how one choice may create tension and another may open space for understanding. Ethical discernment, sila, is simply this clear seeing moment by moment. This is something you can practice in small, everyday ways. When you walk, feel the sensations of your feet on the ground. Notice your thoughts and judgments as they arise about yourself, the people around you, and the world. And ask, is this thought helpful? Is it kind? Does it bring peace or more conflict? Even this brief attention trains the mind to notice the consequences of action before acting. Over time, responding with care becomes less an effort and more a natural movement of awareness. Mindfulness also helps you examine intention. Ask yourself, why do I feel this urge? What's motivating this thought? By noticing the source, fear, pride, habit, compassion, ego, or even love, you can choose wisely. You don't need to act from every impulse. You can act from insight, from awareness, and from the intention to reduce harm. This is the essence of ethical living, letting your action flow from clear seeing rather than habit or compulsion. Living with clarity and care transforms ordinary moments, a simple conversation, a choice during the day, or a reaction to someone's behavior becomes an opportunity to practice Sila. Ethical discernment, guided by mindfulness, is gentle. It does not demand perfection. It only asks for your presence and attention. With steady awareness, the mind begins to settle. The heart softens, and your actions increasingly reflect thoughtfulness and compassion. Mindfulness and ethical discernment together support a life of integrity. By noticing thoughts, impulses, and intentions, and choosing what is skillful, you shape a life where care and clarity are present in every step. Ethical living is no longer an abstract idea. It becomes the natural expression of being awake in your own life. As you practice mindfulness in daily life, ethical discernment becomes a natural companion. Each moment offers a chance to notice your impulses, your thoughts, and your intentions. With clarity, you can choose actions that are skillful, kind, and caring. This is not about perfection or rigid rules. It's about living awake, moment by moment, with awareness and attention. When you act from this place, your choices ripple outward, shaping your interactions and your life with thoughtfulness and compassion, changing the world. Mindfulness is the lens that reveals what is skillful. Ethical discernment is the guidance that helps you live with clarity and care. By bringing these together, you create a life where your actions reflect your awareness, your values, and your commitment to kindness, both to yourself and to those around you. And your kindness reflects and ripples outward into the world. So here's a guided meditation, mindfulness, and ethical discernment. Settle in, find a comfortable position, relax your body, and allow your eyes to close. Take a few gentle breaths, allowing the rise and fall of your chest and belly. With each exhale, release tension in your shoulders, jaw, and hands. Let your body feel light and at ease. Now rest your attention on the breath. Feel your breath in and out. Chest rising and falling. Notice the rhythm, the temperature of the air, the movements of the body. As thoughts, impulses, or judgments arise, label them softly, like anger, fear, curiosity, kindness. Observe them without following them. Name them, then let them go. Labeling them lets you take a step back from them. And ask yourself quietly, what is motivating this thought or urge? Will acting on it bring care or harm? Feel the answer in your body and mind. Now, create a small space between noticing the impulse and choosing a response. Imagine letting the mind rest in awareness before moving, before acting, before speaking. Now bring attention to your heart. Offer the intention that your choices support kindness, clarity, and harmony for yourself and for others. Now slowly widen your awareness to the room. Notice sounds, sensation, and the feeling of being seated here or laying here. Open your eyes gently and take a moment to feel the calm and clarity you've created. Notice the awareness you carry in your body, your breath, and your heart. As you return to the space around you, carry this sense of presence with you. Let your actions flow from care. Your words reflect thoughtfulness, and your heart remain open. And when you're ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch if it feels good, and softly open your eyes. take this calm clarity and ethical awareness with you into the rest of your day. Now, Joyce, how's your meditation been?
It's actually been reasonably good with our dog not being able to walk very much. I've been doing most of my walking by myself. And so when I walk by myself, I do a fair amount of meditation, especially if I'm just in the neighborhood around our little park. It's walking meditation I find really good. It's a really good way for me to be able to
Uh-huh.
meditate without getting caught up in everything else.
Yes. Now, walking meditation, one of the things that's interesting about it is it actually uses and engages more of your mind, because your mind is active in its three-dimensional orientation and keeping track of the movement and stuff. And so, in some ways, this walking meditation expands your mind and can expand your mental awareness.
Yeah, I can see that. I think maybe because your mind is busy, it's easier to keep it from getting caught up in other things.
Uh-huh. That's right. If you're caught up on other things, you'll trip.
Yes.
How about you, Carol?
Oh, just going along. I found your guided meditation just now very helpful and very relaxing. And I had a strong sense of not being my body at all, which is
Uh-huh.
a good thing to notice. And so it was good.
That's good. If you're not your body, what are you then?
They say that I'm only awareness. I'm still waiting to figure out how I can be awareness and not be aware of everything everyone's saying, thinking. So
Well, why did it have to be different?
different than what?
Awareness and,
I
what
don't,
everybody else is thinking and
yeah.
stuff.
Well, I'm just saying it's not pure awareness that
Okay.
that
Well,
I'm trying to get there, but it's not that.
okay. Okay, it is, but you're still fooling yourself with the story.
Thank you, exactly.
How about you, Tom?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good. Well, I would say that uh, I've been remiss in the practice. Primarily, I guess, in the last month, almost a month, involved with institutions, medical institutions. I had total knee replacement surgery, and then uh, two and a half weeks of rehabilitation
Uh-huh.
in a facility, and so I'm now back home, thankfully. So it's now I have the opportunity to have a little peace and quiet and escape from institutional routines
Yes.
and issues and concerns. So so hopefully this meeting time came back into my consciousness. So I'm happy to be here, and I hope I can have a better practice now that I'll be at least in about probably 5 weeks of recovery. So we'll see about that. I'm
Well,
living in a very quiet place and trees around and some friends and so on. So it's more conducive, I think, to a little quietness and
uh-huh.
introspection.
Uh-huh. Well, meditation and being internally quiet is great for healing.
Yes, it's not over yet. There's still more medical stuff coming, but
Sure.
at least it's going to be intermittent with living in my house. So
Right.
so we'll see.
Okay. Okay. Well, you've been through a lot, and now
Oh,
you have time to take care of yourself in a different way.
yes, indeed. I hope so.
Okay. So now we have a video on Sila from the Glasgow Buddhist Centre. So the guy speaks with a little bit of an accent.
Let's begin.
So I'm going to talk about the parameter of Sila, ethics. And ethics is slightly different from a Buddhist context in terms of the importance of intention. So we can do an act and it might appear exactly the same on the outside, but actually if the intention behind it is different, it will make a huge difference to how that affects our future. So for example, if I give something to somebody, but I do it with the intention of maybe ingratiating myself with them, that would be quite different than if I were to give it to them just with open-handed generosity without any expectations in return. So our intentions are important. And also we talk about ethics in terms of ethics of body, speech and mind. So obviously our actions are important, how we act, how we behave in the world, but also how we communicate, our speech, and then finally also our thoughts. So our thoughts will influence our actions and speech. So we might think that our thoughts are our own business, as it were, but actually the Buddha says, what we put our mind to, that we become. If we do it often enough, it becomes a habit. So we have to just be aware of that and take responsibility for our actions of body, speech and mind. And in Buddhism we have a framework of the 5 precepts which we try to follow. And these are guidelines, they're not rules, they're guidelines of how to lead a spiritual life. And Bhante, our teacher, talks about them in a positive format. So the first is, with deeds of loving kindness, I purify my body. And the deeds part is important because it's not just, well, we're thinking about being kind, we're actually doing something, we're actually acting out in the world. And that informs all the other precepts, really. If we can be acting from a place of kindness, of loving kindness, that's going to make a huge difference. Also with open-handed generosity, I purify my body. So again, we give without expectation, we give unconditionally. And there are lots of different things we can give. Obviously we can give money to those in need, but also we can give time, we can give energy, we can give fearlessness. Actually, in this day and age, time is particularly, I think, important, that giving someone time can be a really valuable gift. And I think another thing in relation to generosity is receiving. Generosity is important. We tend to be happier giving, but find it quite difficult to receive. But actually, if we can't receive, then that kind of questions what our giving is, if it's giving from a specific place of privilege, I guess. And then with stillness, simplicity and contentment, I purify my body. And I think particularly now, contentment is really important in terms of just being content with what we have. We live in a consumerist society where the expectation is that we will continue to keep buying more and that will make us happy. But actually, if we can be content with what we have, that there isn't that need for something or somebody to make us happy, then that's a much more positive place to come from. And stillness and simplicity obviously are important too. Stillness in terms of just being content with who we are. And simplicity, just leading a more simple life. And of course these are things we particularly maybe work on in retreat. And then the fourth one is with truthful communication, I purify my speech. And again, speech, you can talk about that in terms of all communication, but actually if we're coming from a place of being truthful, of being honest, of being open, then that's going to have a huge difference than if we start kind of slightly twisting the truth for our own benefit. We often don't maybe outright lie, but there are times where we can maybe exaggerate or play down our part in things in order to maybe make ourselves look good. So truthfulness in communication. And of course, communication isn't just speech. Nowadays, particularly online and all our online activities, whether it's writing, emails, texting, all of that comes under the same heading. And then finally, with mindfulness, clear and radiant. And then again, that can inform all our practice, actually. If we can be mindful, if we can be aware that we are making choices all the time, and if we can make those choices on a skillful basis rather than unskillful. And a skillful basis is coming from a place of kindness, of generosity, of wisdom, as opposed to from greed, hatred and delusion. So that is a very brief introduction to the parameter of Sila. So,
Okay, and now we're going to meditate ourselves for a while. Mindfulness is paying attention on purpose, non-judgmentally. Receive whatever is there, then let it go. All right. And I'll close with a chant. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. All right. What did you get from today's session? The talk, the video, your own meditation?
I liked the video a lot, actually. I found that very good, and it worked very nicely with what you said. So I'm sure you put it together, so
Yeah.
it worked well together.
Well, I think we're kind of speaking from the same framework. Uh, what I say doesn't always fit within the bounds of Buddhism so neatly, but it's all the same stuff.
And it's a good reminder to be present. That's what it
Uh-huh.
is.
And, I think being present non-judgmentally, I think I'll do a session on really what that means, because that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that, the being present non-judgmentally is very important. And also when he said in all your forms of communication, I think we sometimes forget that, maybe when we're with somebody, it's easier to be present than thinking of somebody online on a, Facebook post or whatever, being present with that person at the time.
Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of habits that, what this stuff does is make you more aware of the habits and then start to have choices instead of habits.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Anyway, very good. Good to see you. Good to be meditating together, and see you next week.
Thank you
All right,
very
see
much.
you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Adios, amigos.